What if I told you your constipation has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with what you're doing right before bed? So many adults over 60 think a slow, stubborn colon is just part of getting older, but there's one common nighttime habit that could be keeping you bloated, backed up, and uncomfortable day after day. The surprising part is, it's something most people do every single evening without thinking twice, and once you fix it, your mornings could feel lighter, easier, and far more regular. Let's talk about what's really happening in your body at night, and the simple change that can get things moving again. As we get older, it's completely normal for the digestive system to change, and one of the biggest shifts happens in the colon. The muscles that move waste through the large intestine don't contract as strongly or as rhythmically as they did when we were younger. Nerve signals that help coordinate bowel movements can become less responsive, and the body may take longer to react to the natural urge to go. On top of that, many adults over 60 take medications that can slow digestion even more. All of this combines to make constipation more common with age, which is why so many seniors assume feeling backed up is just something they have to live with. But that's only part of the story, because while aging does slow the system down, daily habits, especially in the evening, have a powerful influence over how well the colon actually functions. Your colon depends heavily on gentle physical movement and consistent body rhythms to stay active. Throughout the day, simple actions like walking, standing, and even light household tasks help stimulate the natural wave-like muscle contractions that push stool forward. These movements also encourage healthy blood flow to the digestive organs and support communication between the gut and the nervous system. When the body stays active at regular intervals, the colon is more likely to maintain a steady pace, instead of becoming sluggish. The problem is that for many people, evenings become the most inactive stretch of the entire day. After dinner, it's easy to settle into a chair or on the couch for hours, followed by going straight to bed. That long period of minimal movement sends a signal to the body that it's time to slow everything down, including digestion. The evening is actually a critical window for setting up healthy bowel movements the next morning. After your last meal of the day, the digestive system is still working to move food through the stomach and small intestine and into the colon. If the body remains gently active for a while after eating, this process tends to be smoother and more efficient. But when someone eats and then becomes very still for the rest of the night, transit time can slow. Stool may remain in the colon longer than it should, and the longer it stays there, the more water gets absorbed out of it. This is how soft, easy-to-pass stool gradually becomes dry, firm, and difficult to move. Even sleep patterns play a role. A consistent bedtime and a calming wind-down routine help regulate the body's internal clock, which also influences digestion. When evenings are irregular, overly sedentary, or filled with heavy late meals, the colon doesn't get the supportive signals it needs to stay on a healthy rhythm. Over time, this pattern can make constipation feel like a permanent condition, when in reality the body may simply be responding to nightly habits that unintentionally slow everything down. One of the most common habits that quietly contributes to constipation after 60 is eating a heavy or late dinner and then going to bed shortly afterward. It might seem harmless, especially if evenings are the most relaxing part of the day, but your digestive system doesn't switch off just because you lie down. In fact, it now has to work through a large amount of food while your body is in a position that doesn't naturally support efficient digestion. As we age, the entire digestive process already moves more slowly, so timing and posture become much more important than they used to be. When you eat a big meal late in the evening, your stomach stretches and releases food into the small intestine over several hours. This is a gradual process, and it relies on coordinated muscle contractions, digestive juices, and the natural effect of gravity when you are upright. But if you lie down too soon after eating, gravity is no longer helping food move smoothly downward. The stomach may empty more slowly, and the entire digestive tract can become less active. This doesn't just increase the chance of heartburn or reflux at night, it also affects how efficiently waste eventually moves into and through the colon. By the time partially digested food reaches the large intestine, your body may already be entering its nighttime slowdown. The colon, which depends on rhythmic muscular waves to push stool along, can become even more sluggish when the body is inactive for long periods. If a large dinner hits the system right before this natural slowdown, stool can end up sitting in the colon longer than it should. The longer it stays there, the the more water the colon absorbs from it. This is one of the main reasons stool becomes hard, dry, and difficult to pass the next morning. Portion size matters just as much as timing. Large meals require more digestive effort, more fluid, and more time to process. For older adults whose digestive systems are already working at a gentler pace, this extra load late in the day can overwhelm the system. Instead of moving steadily overnight, digestion can feel stalled. That heavy, full sensation before bed is often a sign your body is still working hard when it should be gradually winding down. Another factor is blood flow. After a meal, circulation increases to the digestive organs to help with processing nutrients. Light movement after eating, like standing or walking, supports this process. But when you go straight from the dinner table to lying in bed, circulation patterns shift and overall body activity drops. This can reduce the natural stimulation the intestines need to keep things moving efficiently. Over time, the routine of late, heavy dinners followed by immediate bedtime trains the digestive system into a slower rhythm. Mornings may then start with bloating, discomfort, and the frustrating feeling that you just can't fully empty your bowels. Even when you try, another major but often overlooked factor in stubborn constipation is how little movement many people get in the evening. After a long day, it feels natural to sit down and relax, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with resting. The problem starts when the entire second half of the day becomes almost completely sedentary. For the colon to move waste efficiently, it depends on regular signals from the body, and physical movement is one of the strongest signals it receives. When those signals fade for hours at a time, the intestines can slow to a crawl. Your digestive tract is lined with smooth muscle that contracts in gentle, wave-like motions to push contents forward. This process, called peristalsis, is influenced by your nervous system, blood flow, and overall body activity. Even small movements like standing up, walking to another room, or doing light chores stimulate the abdominal area and encourage these muscular waves. Movement also helps regulate pressure inside the abdomen, which plays a role in how easily stool travels through the colon. When you stay seated for long stretches, especially in a slouch position, these helpful physical cues become weaker. Evening routines often involve sitting in soft chairs, recliners, or on the couch for several hours in a row. While this feels comfortable, it can compress the abdomen and limit natural core engagement. The digestive organs don't get the gentle mechanical stimulation they would during walking or standing. Blood circulation also becomes more sluggish when you're still for long periods, which can reduce the efficiency of digestive processes. Over time, the colon may respond to this pattern by slowing its activity during the very hours when it should still be moving waste along. Then comes bedtime, which adds another long stretch of stillness. Sleep is essential for health, but when it follows hours of minimal movement, the total inactive time can easily reach 10 or more hours. For a colon that is already slower due to age-related changes, this extended period without stimulation can allow stool to linger too long in the large intestine. As it sits there, the colon continues absorbing water from it, gradually making it firmer and more difficult to pass. By morning, the result is often straining, incomplete emptying, or skipping a bowel movement entirely. This pattern can repeat day after day. The less often the colon fully empties, the more sluggish it can become. Stool that remains in the system too long can stretch the colon slightly, dulling the nerves that signal the need to go. That makes it even easier to miss natural urges and even harder to maintain regularity. Breaking up evening sitting time with small bursts of gentle movement can make a meaningful difference in how actively the colon works overnight, and into the next day. Many adults over 60 make a very understandable decision in the evening. They start limiting how much they drink so they don't have to wake up multiple times during the night to use the bathroom. While this can help protect sleep in the short term, it can quietly create a different problem inside the digestive system. Hydration plays a central role in how easily stool moves through the colon, and when fluid intake drops too low in the later part of the day, the colon often compensates by pulling extra water out of waste. The result by morning can be stool that is dry, firm, and difficult to pass. The large intestine's main job is to absorb water and electrolytes from the material left over after nutrients have been taken out in the small intestine. This is a normal and necessary function, but it becomes a problem when the body is slightly dehydrated. When fluid levels are low, the colon becomes more aggressive about reclaiming water. It doesn't know you're trying to avoid nighttime bathroom trips. It only knows that the body needs to conserve fluids. So it draws more water out of stool. than it normally would, leaving it harder and more compact. This effect is magnified overnight. During sleep, you go many hours without drinking anything. If you were already underhydrated in the evening, your body enters the night at a deficit. Meanwhile, the colon continues its slow work. Stool that sits in the large intestine for extended periods gets progressively drier as water is absorbed. By the time morning comes, what might have been soft and easy to eliminate the day before can feel like it has turned into small, hard pieces that require straining to pass. Chronic mild dehydration also affects the muscles and nerves involved in bowel movements. The colon relies on well-coordinated muscular contractions to move waste forward. When the body lacks adequate fluids, circulation can be less efficient and muscle function can be slightly impaired. This doesn't usually cause dramatic symptoms right away, but over time it can contribute to a sluggish, unresponsive feeling in the gut. Many people focus only on fiber when they think about constipation, but fiber without enough fluid can actually make stool bulkier and harder instead of softer. The goal isn't to drink large amounts right before bed, which can indeed disrupt sleep. Instead, the key is spreading fluid intake more evenly throughout the day so the body is well hydrated long before nighttime. A moderate amount of fluid with dinner and small sips later. If you're thirsty, usually won't overwhelm the bladder, especially if most hydration happened earlier. Finding that balance helps. Ensure the colon has enough water to keep stool soft, while still allowing for more restful sleep at night. The encouraging part about all of this is that you don't need extreme diets, harsh laxatives, or exhausting workouts to help your colon work better. Often, the most effective changes are small, gentle adjustments that fit naturally into your evening routine. When you combine light movement after dinner slightly earlier, and lighter meals, and steady hydration, you create the ideal environment for your digestive system to function the way it was designed to. These habits work with your body's natural rhythms instead of against them, helping restore a smoother and more predictable pattern of bowel movements. Light movement after dinner is one of the simplest and most powerful tools. A slow walk, even just around your home, signals to your digestive system that the day isn't completely over yet. This encourages the stomach to empty more efficiently and stimulates the intestines to keep contents moving forward. It also supports healthy blood flow to the abdominal organs and gently activates the core muscles that assist with bowel function. Over time, this consistent post-meal activity can help train your colon to stay more active in the evening hours, reducing the chance that stool will sit too long overnight. Adjusting meal timing and size is another key piece. Eating your main meal earlier in the evening gives your body more time to digest while you're still upright and moving. Choosing slightly smaller portions at night reduces the workload on a system that naturally slows with age. Including fiber-rich foods like vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains helps form softer, bulkier stool that moves more easily through the colon. When fiber is paired with enough fluid and movement, it becomes one of the most reliable ways to support regularity without strain. Steady hydration ties everything together. Drinking fluids consistently throughout the day ensures that by evening your body is already well supplied, so the colon doesn't need to overcompensate by pulling excess water from stool. A reasonable amount of fluid with dinner and small sips later if needed can maintain this balance without dramatically increasing nighttime bathroom trips. Proper hydration keeps stool softer and supports the muscular contractions that move waste along. When these habits are practiced together, they reinforce each other. Movement improves digestion, better timed meals reduce nighttime slowdown, and hydration keeps everything soft and mobile. Instead of feeling like your colon is working against you, your body begins to respond with more regular morning bowel movements, less straining, and a lighter, more comfortable feeling that carries into the rest of your day.